Hey guys, my name is Matt Johnson, and today I want to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is about what to wear to remain cool and comfortable on a wedding day. And I'm sure you're like, Matt, why do you want to talk about this? Well, because I live in Texas, where it is the middle of November and it is currently 85 degrees outside. And that's 85 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So you like European people are like, oh my gosh, he's gonna die. He's on the surface of the sun. It's not that bad, but it's still pretty darn awful considering that it's supposed to be like fall or winter right now, and it feels nothing like that. So if you live in Texas or another hot climate like I do, where it's over 90 degrees 75% of the year, and you're trying to stay cool and keep from sweating, and you're wearing like a suit to a wedding to film it, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's got to be a better way. I have devoted my life to finding a better way to film weddings. So with that, if you live up north in a cooler climate and you're like, Matt, it's snowing right now, like I really cannot help you very much. I would just say put on some more layers, maybe some leggings. They make them for men and women. Put those on and try to stay comfortable. But for everyone else who lives in Texas or the South where it's hot 95% of the year and it feels like it's summer except for 2 weeks where you get frigid cold winter and maybe even a little bit of snow and then you're back to hot again, I want to talk to you about the clothes that I wear. And I'm going to try to not make this sound like an infomercial where I'm like, just buy these clothes and you're going to love them and they'll make you feel great. And I'm not paid by any of these companies to say anything like this. This is just stuff that I've bought that I enjoy that I think works well. So with that, let's talk about shoes. My first wedding that I ever shot, I wore Converse too, which was a terrible decision because they're totally flat and have no arch support, and they were just dark shoes that I happened to have, so I just wore them because I didn't really know what I was doing. And after about 8 to 10 hours of wearing those things, I thought I was gonna die. So those were out. I'm like, never wearing Converse again, this is done. Then I was like, well, okay, then let's try out to wear some dress shoes to weddings. Okay, so here's like some dress shoes that I have. This is one that I actually wore like to my wedding that I was actually like in. And while it's comfortable, it's really like made more for looks and photos, not so much for if you're gonna be running around working, needing to get a lot of different shots and angles and things like that if you're actually filming a wedding. So these are out, and I now film with these guys, which kind of look like Air Jordans or something like that, but they're not. They're Supras, which are like a skate shoe. And the whole reason that I started wearing these things, and I wear them everywhere. Like I'm currently wearing like another pair right now. I got a ton of them. And the reason being is that they have so much foam and cushion in them. So they're super comfy to wear all day. So as far as shoes go, I would recommend getting either some black athletic shoes or something with a lot of cushion and support because you're gonna be running around all day and people aren't really gonna look at your shoes anyways unless you're wearing like bright icy white ones or something like that, which are cool for like the basketball court, but not so much for a wedding whenever you're just trying to blend into the crowd. So black comfy shoes, do that, awesome. Let's move on to socks. I'm sure you're like, really Matt, socks? That's what we're gonna talk about today? Is that really important? Yes, because if you're like me and you're filming a wedding for 8, 10, 12 hours a day and your legs are getting tired, one of the best things that you can buy is a good pair of compression socks. Now these look like just regular dress socks, except they go all the way up your leg. And the benefit of that is that you can then get proper blood flow to your leg. And my wife says that it even helps with varicose veins, which I have never thought about before, but that can be incredibly helpful if you want to keep your legs looking good and you want your legs to be comfortable throughout the day. The main benefit of compression socks is they're going to keep your legs from getting so tired. The main con of compression socks is that they're going to go all the way up your leg to your knee. So if you are in a hot climate, you are not going to be kept as cool because your legs are going to be getting hot. So I don't always wear these if it's really hot outside, like midsummer, if I'm shooting like an August wedding or something, these don't come out. But whenever it starts getting cooler, I break these things out and my legs feel way better by the end of the day. Moving on. Next up, pants. And I never thought I'd be talking about pants on a video, but here we are, so whatever. These are Nike athletic golf pants, and they're made of their same dry fit material as like athletic shorts, but not as stretchy. So they breathe incredibly well, but they look really professional. Like you could wear these to a wedding and no one would know that you're actually incredibly comfortable and you feel every breeze blowing through your pants. It's wonderful. So if you're filming on a hot day, I would heavily recommend getting a pair of these. Nike makes these pants for both men and women, but YouTube analytics tells me that my viewership is currently like 85% male. But if you're one of the 15% of women that wants to be cool and dry too, I would highly recommend checking out these pants. Other options include the company Mizzen and Main and Ministry of Supply. I believe they both also make sort of an athletic dress pant that breathes well, but I have not had a chance to try those out yet, so don't quote me on that. Underwear. Thought I was going to skip this, didn't you? So did I, actually. And I take back what I said about pants. This is definitely the weirdest thing that I've ever talked about in a video. And hopefully it will ever be the weirdest thing. But here we go. Underwear is very important, especially if you want to stay cool and comfortable. So there are a couple different brands out there. This is like the MeUndies brand, which I heard about through a podcast. And I'm like, oh, well, hey, I'll try these out. They say that they're really breathable and comfortable. And they are. It's awesome. If you don't want those, there's Ex Officio brand and a couple others. I think like Hanes and Fruit of the Loom are finally getting into like the super comfortable stretchy underwear game. But these things are great if you really need to be comfortable and have great breathing underwear that you can wear all day. So that's all I'm going to say about that topic. And moving on to shirts. Lastly, shirts. Now, I used to wear all black whenever I was filming weddings because I was like, oh, I don't want to get in photos and I want to blend into the background and things like that. But what I discovered whenever I was attending weddings is that most of the guests do not wear all black, so I actually ended up standing out more and looking like a waiter or something like that. So in my attempt to avoid that, I now go for a general wedding guest look, meaning that I try to dress like a normal wedding guest would. Not too fancy, not too unfancy. I don't want to like show up in a tuxedo where everybody else is wearing like jeans, which this is Texas. There are weddings like that where people show up in overalls and John Deere caps. I've seen it. This is more so my attempt to blend in and not be too fancy, not be too underdressed, right in the middle where if people look at me, the only way that they can tell that I am actually there to film the wedding is the camera that I'm holding in my hand. If they look at me otherwise, they're just like, oh, he's just another bearded guest roaming around. Or possibly a homeless man that stuck in here to get some food. Either way, now for the shirt. This is a button-up dress shirt by Mizzen and Main. And it looks just like a normal dress shirt. Like, okay, whatever, Matt, it's a dress shirt. But no, it's not. It's made of similar material to the Nike Dry Fit stuff. So it is going to breathe, and whenever a breeze comes by, it flows right through you, and it's so cooling and refreshing. The other trick of this shirt is that it is super stretchy. Like, it is crazy how much stretch is in this thing, which is wonderful whenever you're filming a wedding and you're like, oh man, I need to like bend over and pick up things and reach out, and like you're doing all these weird movements and things like that. Most dress shirts are made for somebody that's like sitting in an office cubicle somewhere that needs to look good, that doesn't really do anything except for type on a computer. But if you are active and you are running around and you need to look good all day, this shirt is amazing for that scenario. The other benefit of this shirt and these pants is that they don't wrinkle. So while I have them on hangers right now to show them to you, normally whenever I'm traveling, I literally just wad them up and throw them into my suitcase and take them with me to a place. Because I don't need to worry about ironing them or anything like that. They don't have to go to the dry cleaner. You just throw them into the washer and then you air dry them. You don't have to really treat them any nicer than a t-shirt, which is my main goal whenever I'm wearing clothes. I don't like having to maintain them a lot or take care of them. I'm just like, okay, good, put it on like t-shirt, take it off, go to my next thing. The fact that I can treat wedding clothing like I do normal casual clothing is a game changer for me. All right, enough about clothes. I hope this video has been helpful to you and given you some great ideas for how you can remain cool and comfortable when filming a wedding or another event or anything else that requires you to be out in the hot sun all day. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments about shirts, pants, socks, shoes, or even underwear, please feel free to leave me a comment below or send me a message through my website, WhoisMatt.com. You can also check out my wedding film production company, Filmstrong Productions, at filmstrong.com. Thanks and have a great day. Underwear. Can't believe I talked about underwear. All right. Well, that's done.